So, additionally, we're learning about an incident that took place when former President Trump visited Arlington National Cemetery for a wreath-laying ceremony on Monday. NPR was the first to report that two Trump campaign staffers had a confrontation with a cemetery official who tried to prevent them from filming. Trump campaign spokesman Stephen Chung denied portions of the report, saying that no physical altercation occurred, adding that the campaign would be willing to release footage, but that an official had tried to physically block members of the former president's team during the cemetery. Arlington National Cemetery later put out a statement confirming an incident took place and a report had been filed. The statement reads in part this way: federal law prohibits political campaign or election-related activities within Army National Military Cemeteries to include photographers, content creators, or any other persons attending for purposes or in direct support of a partisan political candidate's campaign. So, Mike Barnicle, the Trump campaign attended this event on Monday. It was to the anniversary of the death of some American service members in Afghanistan as part of the evacuation effort there 3 years ago. They're trying to make that a major problem for the Biden-Harris administration in the context of this campaign. But I know a lot of military veterans were very uncomfortable with the idea that Trump was there at all, and that he even at one point posed for a photograph with family members with a big smile and thumbs up on their face. Now, we should note some of the family members were doing the same, but that's their right. Donald Trump, it's seemingly very strange that he would do the same. And some of these veterans were sort of just aghast that even in any way, shape, or form, Arlington National Cemetery, arguably the most sacred place in our country, was being used as a backdrop for a political purpose.
Jonathan, I looked at the same pictures that you're alluding to now and describing at Arlington, taken with the former president, and the thought rolled immediately through my mind: is nothing sacred? That is sacred ground. And the idea that any candidate of any party would use, intentionally or unintentionally, use that sacred ground as a prop for a political campaign is beyond condemnation. It's terribly upsetting, obviously, to people who have buried loved ones in Arlington National Cemetery. It's terribly upsetting to many veterans. It's terribly upsetting to people who view it as a spectacle. And it ought to be terribly upsetting to any American who values what the military does for this country worldwide and has done for this country for centuries and will continue to do for this country.
And of course, this comes just days after Trump suggested that a civilian medal, the Medal of Freedom, was better than the Medal of Honor because the Army soldiers who receive the Medal of Honor are often either killed or wounded. And of course, we've been reminded of late how Trump used to refer to veterans, even deceased soldiers, as suckers and losers, a comment confirmed by his own chief of staff.